Hello everyone and welcome back to Dark Souls Easy Mode. Last time we've rung the second bell of awakening and now it is time to move on. I'll go back to the spider shield, I'll go back to these, and honestly, let me just see, do I have anything with better poison resistance? Because that's all that matters at this point to me, poison resistance. I do not have anything better than this. Okay. Same here, I assume the 59 on the tattered cloth robe are going to be the best I have. You should still always check, because sometimes a single piece from a different set might be better than the rest of the set, or worse than the rest of the set. So it might be that, for example, the tattered set has the best poison resist, except for the boots, which randomly are stronger at with the black leather set. Stuff like that. Just basically make sure to actually scan through your stuff. Okay. Now this is the starting armor of the Pyromancer, and it is very light. It doesn't provide good physical defense, but my oh my, the poison resist is one of the highest you can get in the game. It's not quite the highest, but it's definitely up there. It's very, very good poison resistance. And poison resistance counts towards poison and toxic both. So basically it takes longer for you to become poisoned or toxicated. Toxint? I don't know. I mean, intoxicated means something else, but not really. Anyway, let's go with toxicated. Why not? It's a fun word. Really? Can't roll through there? Well, that's fun. Let's see how long my poison bar is. It's possible to make it through the swamp without being poisoned, but I would have to take a different route. So as you can see, I almost made it to here. If I hadn't fought that enemy, if I'd run past, I might have actually made it, and I could also have made it to one of the pillars. So yeah, it's possible to go through here without being poisoned in the first place, but it's not really necessary because this poison isn't that powerful. Now, I've mentioned in some of the earlier episodes that if you're poisoned, you can't get poisoned again by a different source. But poison and toxin are two separate effects. So I could not get poisoned when I'm poisoned by the swamp already, but I can still get toxin. So something to bear in mind. They're not the same thing. And this, by the way, is the reason I wanted to have enough strength to one-hand the Zweihander. Because right around here I really do like to use the shield, the spider shield. And this elevator is the fast way out of Blighttown. It can also be used as the fast way in. So I'll show you how that works probably this episode, but a little later. But yeah, basically you can use this to have an easy time. And skip a lot of the tedium of this place. It's what they use in the speedrun of the game. Also note how we found another armor set here. I don't believe it's that good against poison, but it has decent curse resistance. So something to bear in mind. Also quite good lightning defense. Well, ish. Reasonable lightning defense. But But yeah, it also gave us a spell called Remedy, which Sorcerer of the Red-Robed Yulva, blah blah blah. Reduce bleeding and poison buildup and undo various poisonous effects. So basically this gives us a spell that cures poison as well. So yeah, while they do throw a bunch of poison at you in this place, they also throw a bunch of items and stuff at you that cures poison. And then we can climb up here. By the way, I know that I missed a few items in Blighttown. As I said, it's not a fun area, and the items I missed were not exactly important items. So there was more exploring to be done here, I just didn't care for it, basically. But this section I'm exploring right now is also optional, but it actually contains a very, very good reward, so I do want that. Okay, now let's go up this ladder. And kindly enough, the game has marked ladders with torches, so if you can't find a ladder, because they are difficult to see, and the designers apparently knew this, you can always go where the torches are, and that'll usually lead you to where you want to go. Okay, usually there's a poison arrow dude right here. He apparently fell down. No, he's over here. Strangely enough. Okay, note how the poison resistance meant I did not get instantly toxined. If you don't have this high poison resistance, then you might very well get instantly toxined by just a single arrow. So that would be something you probably want to avoid. And I'll wait for the toxin effect to go down. Now there's a misconception here. You see how the toxic bar is longer than, I guess, normal? Because I have high poison resist on this armor. That doesn't mean that it lasts longer. The duration of the effect doesn't depend on the length of the bar. It means it takes slightly longer to count down if I'm only partially afflicted. Okay, another blooming purple moss clump. Incidentally, the item I want is down there. So let's see if we can't do a plunging attack. Nice. And this is what I was here for, the Firekeeper soul. Okay, and time to wait again for the poison counter to go down. That guy up there, by the way, you can, from his default position, only hit with melee attacks, but sometimes he does silly stuff and just becomes attackable by, basically sometimes he jumps down here. Yeah, and these dogs, do not underestimate them, they can spit fire. And now he's moved up there so he can't actually hit me, which is nice. And there's 3 more dogs around here. One of them's right there. And one is over here, and the final one is there. Ow. Okay. I don't particularly care for the last poison guy. If he didn't jump down, I'm not going to try and equip some ranged option to kill him, it's fine. And then we can leave this place behind. Basically that Firekeeper Soul is the item I was looking for, which is obviously very nice because it allows me to boost my Estus Flask. Now, those of you that know the game somewhat well will be aware of the fact that I am going the wrong way to use that as that Firekeeper Soul. I am aware of that. That's something I do to avoid the tedium, to cut down on the tedium of these videos. Basically, if you followed my playthrough, precisely, it's a bit of an overstatement, but if you've done generally the same stuff I've done, then I would recommend go back to the bonfire after the Quelaag boss fight. There's a Quelaag sister is there. I didn't show her because she wasn't relevant yet, but I was going to show her later. But yeah, she's there. You can upgrade your Estus Flask there. Do that because the upgrading it at Firelink Shrine is not available anymore. So yeah, just something I thought I'd mention. And now we can go back to the Grass Crest Shield. And also unequip this. Okay, there's a single of these. I don't know, they're called Unlit Barbarians, I think, but I might be wrong. That's the name I've got stuck in my head, but that doesn't mean that's actually their official name. And no, the official name is kind of an overstatement. I mean, it's at least I know for Dark Souls 2 that the official names from the official strategy guide were basically translated from Japanese development names by the guys who made the guide, who are not actually working for Bandai Namco or FromSoft or anything like that. They're just they work for a different company that's basically been paid to make the guide. By the way, you should be careful around this place. I didn't quite manage to show it here because it just didn't work out, but there are two of these guys here which aggro almost at the same location, but not quite. So if you approach very carefully, you'll be able to separate them. And then I'd also recommend walking back a little. And another final piece of advice for this corridor here: don't go too far into the walls here, because the geometry is really messed up in this game on occasion. And particularly here, it can happen quite easily that you get stuck behind some of these planks and bits of whatever these are meant to be, like the pots and the planks and all that stuff. And it can be very difficult to actually get out again. So I have once been stuck here, and the only way for me to get out was a homeward bone, which luckily I had, otherwise I would have had to use Dark Sign. Anyway, my point is, try to stick to the center of this path, don't go around. So, this back way out of Blighttown, which is meant as the way out of here, because it's a lot easier than going back up through Blighttown and the sewers and all that, takes you to the Valley of the Drakes. Now, I've already shown you this place, and this door here, I have used the master key to open this from the other side. Remember in one of the earlier episodes, the suicide runs, where I went to get the Grass Crest Shield. I opened this with a master key from the other side. And at that point, I could have also, instead of moving further through the valley and getting the Grass Crest Shield and all that stuff, I could have just gone down there, through that tunnel, past the Barbarians, and gone down to Blighttown. So if you have the master key and you do not want any of the items from the sewers or the depths or Blighttown itself, if there's nothing there that really interests you, you can basically go down this way after having done the gargoyles, or technically before having done the gargoyles if you like, and yeah, just speed up that bit of the game quite noticeably, because it basically means you do not have to go through Camper Demon, you don't have to do Gaping Dragon, and you don't have to do all the poison dart sniping guys. I chose to show you those areas anyway, because I feel that large skips might not be advisable for a first playthrough. And plus, in case there's actually something there that you want, I wanted to show you how to get through there somewhat easily. And yeah, now this will take us back to Firelink. As I said, always, instead of just running in assuming the elevator's going to be there, always check, because it happens to not be there, and then just pull the lever and the elevator will come. I've died a few times assuming that the elevator was just there, and you know, it's kind of... It's a silly death because it is so avoidable. It's not like dying to a difficult enemy where you feel, okay, I just didn't play well enough or something. It's just, okay, I was being dumb there and I just jumped to my death completely needlessly. Okay, and now we walk up Firelink Shrine. And this will point us, show us something very nasty that's happened. Notice how the Firekeeper's gone. Instead there's a corpse, having the dingy set and a black eye orb. And as we examine, dead. So this guy, this NPC who was sitting right here, the knight in golden armor, whom I summoned for the gargoyles and could have summoned for Gaping Dragon. Once you pick up the Firekeeper soul in the parish and the Firekeeper soul down in Blighttown, the one I picked up earlier, or once you've defeated, I believe, the gargoyles and Quelaag, he will kill this Firekeeper. So you will be able to get her armor set and the black eye orb. On the downside, it means that this fire is no longer active. I can no longer rest here. As you can see, light bonfire, Firekeeper is absent, cannot light bonfire. There is an event which allows you to get her back, and because this is something that happens to a lot of new players because they don't realize that that guy is bad news, I decided to show you that. There is not much of a downside to just straight up murdering the guy as soon as you see him. Oh yeah, and also, actually I can probably upgrade my Pyromancy Flame to +10.
Goodbye then. Come.
Now, because we rang both Belts of Awakening, this guy's here, and he's quite useful. I'll just skip through the dialogues as always. Yes, we do seek Enlightenment. We can feed him items. This allows us to basically turn upgrade materials into smaller ones. So we can feed him Titanite chunks to make large Titanite shards, and we can feed him slabs to make chunks. And green Titanite shards turn into just normal Titanite shards, and these turn into green shards, and experiment around. Basically it means you give him a high grade upgrade material and he gives you a few of the lower grade. So might be something worthwhile. I mean, I could feed him chunks now to get the large shards to upgrade the sword to +10, but I know that the next area will give me all the large shards I need, so I'm not too bothered. We can also feed him items, and this basically is the only way of selling stuff. So all of these items you picked up and maybe don't want. For example, the Drake Sword. I could sell him that for 5,000 souls. Very, very nice. Especially since I'm not planning to use it. And at this point, neither should you, because it really stops being useful quite soon. There's a trick I'll show you with it, but yeah. Black Knight Swords are 100 souls each. Most items are just very, very low value and just worth 50. But for example, look at the Dragon King Great Axe. We got this after defeating, after cutting off the tail of the Gaping Dragon. And this again, because it's a dragon weapon, these are worth 5,000 souls. And this is a very, very heavy weapon. I'm never ever going to use it. It also has no scaling, so again, it's not very good to my mind. This would be 10,000 souls if I sold this as well. Let's see what else is noticeably more valuable. Pyromancy Flame, do not sell this, obviously. The rest of this stuff is fairly standard. Let's see. Any of the armor sets? There are some armor sets which are more valuable than others, but I think most of the ones I have right now should be 100. The dingy set is 1,000 each. And it's not a particularly good set, really. It has incredibly high curse resist, so that's something, but generally speaking, it's not terribly valuable. And also, probably in between episodes, I'll eventually go here and sell all the useless junk that I've accumulated over the game. Oh yeah, and also, let's check right here. You can sell him cracked red eye orbs if you're not planning to do any PvP. Just sell these to him. It's 500 souls each, so 2,000 for the entire stack of 4 that you find at Firelink. Eyes of Death. Again, if you don't plan to do PvP and happen to have found any, you can sell these. They have some other use to join a covenant, but yeah, just something to bear in mind. Purging Stones are very valuable, but I'd suggest keeping a few for just in case you get cursed. And where is it? Now, this is the point where you can sell these Souls of a Lost Undead and Large Souls of a Lost Undead, because they give 200 and 400 if you consume them, and they both sell for 500, so just something to bear in mind. Firekeeper Souls, you'd be mad to sell this. Soul of the Moonlight Butterfly. If you don't play as a mage, then the weapons you can craft from this soul aren't going to be useful to you. So, consuming the soul, I believe, gives just 1,200 souls, whereas selling it gives 8,000. So, again, if you don't plan to make a weapon from this, you might as well sell it. Soul of Quelaag as well sells for 10,000, but can only be consumed for 8,000. But this is actually a soul that makes some very useful weapons, so might be you want to probably hang on to this. Selling humanities would be a bit silly, rubbish. The copper coin has no other use except for being sold, so I'll actually do that now.
Farewell.
With the other stuff, I'll eventually go through here when I'm off screen and show you how to... when I'm off screen and don't show you. That's what... Okay, let me build that sentence properly. I will eventually go through my inventory off screen and sell all the crap I don't need, so I don't have to show it to you because it's boring. There we go. That wasn't so difficult now, was it? The fire at Firelink is obviously inactive, so I'm now going to have to make my way to Undead Parish, which is the bonfire from which I will leave to the next area anyway, so it's fine. It works out. So, it may seem like a huge inconvenience that the Firekeeper is dead. It somewhat is. I'm now doing so much damage with the parry animation that the first tick of damage, which is the minor part, is enough to kill them, so I don't even see how much damage the main tick does. Depending on what kind of weapon you use, the parry animations are different, and with these ultra great swords, or at least with this one, I'm not sure if all ultra great swords have the same, they probably do, but anyway. With the Zweihander, the animation is basically a first slash and then a second slash, and the second one does the majority of the damage. But if the first one's enough to kill them, then the second one basically doesn't trigger. Okay, so at this point I will end the episode. I will next time show you how to deal with the upcoming area with relative ease. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.